So let me start from the beginning again. So in this course, your aim will be to solve some real life problems in a numerical way. What do you mean by numerical way? You will write a code, not writing a code, but basic aim will be to write a code and let the computer do your job. Why do you do it? If the computer completes the job for you, you will have to give something as a compensation, and that compensation will be error. You will not be getting the exact solution in most of the time, but you will get a nearby solution. So the methods are divided into two category. One is analytical solution and other is the numerical solution. What is analytical solution? For a given problem, if you are able to find out the solution after a finite number of algebraic manipulations, then that solution is called the analytical solution. That is exact, no error is there. And if you write a code and let the computer do the job for you, then some error will be there. So you will, most of the time you will not get the exact solution, but you will get a nearby solution. Something you have to give as a compensation, that will be the error. You will not get the exact solution. Now, why do you try to find out the numerical solution? Why not the exact solution? Because in many situations, exact solution does not exist. I will give you certain examples. And for many problems, exact solution does not exist, or it is very difficult to find out the exact solution, or it is very time consuming. So for those reasons, your aim will be to create an alternative way to obtain a reasonable solution for the given problem. Okay, so that is the main motivation to study this course, numerical methods and statistical techniques. So let me give you certain examples. And I will be explaining the content of this course. I will be going through briefly about each of the concepts, and then I will be telling you the books which I am going to follow and which you should follow. And then at the end of the class, I will be discussing your doubts, anything related to this course. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
fine. So if you look at the syllabus of this course, we are going to study about, let me write down few lines about errors, then we are going to learn few methods or techniques to find out roots of an equation, methods to find roots of an equation. Can you see what I'm writing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then we are going to discuss interpolation. This concept, this terminology may be new to you. Interpolation, I'll be discussing in due time. Interpolation. Then we are going to discuss about curve fitting. Then we will be solving some techniques or methods to find out the value of definite integral, so numerical integration. And differentiation. And at the end of the, also we'll be discussing about numerical linear algebra. Numerical linear algebra will tell you some numerical methods to solve system of linear equations, or to numerical methods to find out eigenvalues and eigenvectors. In mathematics 2, it has been discussed with you the use of system solution of a system of linear equations, and also the use of eigenvalues and eigenvectors. So here we will be learning some technique or some numerical methods to solve system of linear equation, and also how to find out eigenvalues, eigenvectors for a given matrix by numerical methods. So that chapter or that unit will be called numerical linear algebra. And at the end, we are going to discuss few statistical techniques. Some companies, they are producing items after certain period of time, whether quality is controlled by the company or not. So you will be learning some method to justify that. Statistical techniques, statistical quality control. So these are the main outline of this subject, numerical methods and statistical technique. So I'll be going through each of these topics briefly. I'll try to motivate you why should we study this particular course. So first thing will be about errors. So can you tell me what do you know? What do you think about errors? What is errors for a given problem? Suppose a problem is given to you and you have obtained a solution. So what is error?
The deviation from the actual result.
Deviation from the exact value and the approximate value. So suppose you are solving a problem and the true value or the true solution. So suppose the true solution, let's say, is u, and this is true value, true solution or exact solution. And let's say u naught, that is the approximate solution. Then difference between these two values, u minus u naught, that will be called error. This is one way to quantify error. This is not the only way. This is one way to quantify error. This quantification is called the absolute error. And if you calculate this one, u minus u naught by u, that will be called the relative error. This is another way to quantify error. I'll be going through details about this. Then percentage error, if you multiply this value u minus u naught by u into 100, so that will be percentage error. So this will learn how to quantify error, and also will learn. So suppose this is a function of x, y, and z. Okay. So this is a function of x, y, z, and it is known to you that delta x amount of error is present in x, delta y amount of error present in y, and delta z amount of error present in z. And u is an arbitrary function of x, y, and z. So if you have delta x, delta y, and delta z amount of error in x, y, z, how much error? What will be the ultimate effect or total effect of these errors in the value of u? What will be the effect in u? What will be the maximum amount of error caused by these values delta x, delta y, delta z? So those kind of things you will be learning. Okay. Did you get my point?
Yes.
So the projectile motion is given by, what is the formula for projectile motion? S equals to ut plus half of a
It
t
is.
square, is not it? This is the projectile motion. S is the distance traveled by the projectile, u is the initial velocity, t is the time passed, and a is the acceleration. So if you have, let's say, in velocity you have 2 centimeter per second, that is the error you are committing. 2 centimeter per second. In t, when you are calculating t, you are making, let's say, 0.01 second. Okay, in acceleration, when you are calculating acceleration, again you are making, this is second. In acceleration, let's say you are making 3 centimeter per second square. That much error you are committing. And again for t, you know, for t it is 0.01 second. So what will be the ultimate effect? What will be the maximum amount of error caused by these values in s, distance traveled? So this kind of situation, when left hand side is the function of right hand side values and some amount of error present in each of the right hand side values, so what will be its ultimate effect on the left hand side quantity? So those kind of concepts will be trying to understand. Okay, so that will be about errors. Next will be about root finding, methods to find out roots of an equation. Why to find numerical methods to find roots of an equation? You already know some methods to find roots of an equation. Okay, tell me, what is roots of an equation? The equation is f of x equals to 0. What is a root of this equation?
The values of x
जैसे पुट
satisfying
करने पे
this
सिर्फ जीरो हो
equation.
जाए.
जिस ऐसा कोई वैल्यू जिसको इस x की जगह पुट करने पे इक्वेशन को सेटिस्फाई करे. Is not it? So
Yes,
if
sir.
you
Yes, sir.
consider f of x equals to, let's say, x square plus 2x plus 1, then for which values of x?
Minus.
X equals to minus 1. So
Minus.
x equals to minus 1. So basically, if you plot it in 2 dimensions, x and y is f of x, y which is f of x, and if you plot this curve, f of x arbitrary curve in 2 dimensions, the point where it crosses x axis, that is called the roots of the equation, is not it? If this is the curve y equals to f of x and it crosses x axis at the point x equals to alpha, then that x equals to alpha is a root of the equation f of x equals to 0, is not it?
Yes, sir.
This is root. So root may be simple root, multiple root. We'll be learning in details. Simple root means root will be occurring only once. Multiple roots of order m means root will be occurring multiple times, m times. So we'll be learning in details. So this is the root. Now why do we study numerical methods? If the equation is f of x equals to x square plus 2x plus 1 equals to 0, then no need to study numerical methods. You know how to find out the root of this equation. Even if you consider this quadratic equation, ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0, you do not need any numerical method. You know what are the solution of this equation. What are the solutions? Minus b
Plus minus under root b square minus 4ac upon
b square minus 4ac by 2a. Okay, even the equation is even if the equation is cubic, ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d equals to 0, we still have some analytical method. We can find out the exact root, each of the root of this equation. One of the method is Cardon's method. You may not have studied, or some of you may be familiar with the term Cardon's method. This method is used to find out the roots of a cubic equation. If you increase the degree one more time, if you make it biquadratic, the degree of the equation is 4, then also you have some method, bx cube plus cx square plus dx plus e equals to 0. Then also you can find out each of the roots. How many roots the last equation has, including both real and complex? Exactly 4.
At least.
Not at least, exactly 4. If it is a polynomial equation, it has exactly n roots if the degree of the polynomial is n, including both real and complex. So this is a polynomial equation. So it has exactly 4 roots, and you will be able to find out all the 4 roots by one of this method. This is called Ferrari's method. But if you consider any higher order polynomial equation, any polynomial equation of degree greater than equals to 5, then you do not have any analytical method which will be working for all polynomial of degree greater than equals to n. So for example, for certain equation you can easily identify what are the roots of a fifth order polynomial equation, but no method is there which will be helping you to find out the roots of any kind of fifth order polynomial equation. Similarly, same is true for sixth order polynomial equation. For some equation you can easily observe what are the roots, but no method is there, analytical method is there so far in whole mathematical history which will be working for any kind of sixth order polynomial equation to find out its root. And same is true for each values of n greater than equals to 5. So you see the limitation. If the degree of the polynomial equation is more than 4, then you do not have any method which will be working for any equation, which will be working for all the equation. For some equation by observation you can find out the roots, but it will not be working for all the equations. Have you ever thought why we are restricted on why we are restricted only to equation of order 4? We only have analytical method to find out roots of an equation of degree at most 4. उनके बाद अगर डिग्री और एक बढ़ा दे तो ऐसा कोई मेथड आपके पास अवेलेबल नहीं है जो कोई भी फिफ्थ ऑर्डर पॉलिनोमियल इक्वेशन के लिए काम करेगा. Did you get my point?
Yes, sir.
So our mathematical history you consider from the evolution, जब से मैथमेटिक्स को सीखना सीखे हैं तब से अभी तक कोई भी ऐसा मेथड नहीं है. This is the polynomial equation, and if you consider the transcendental equation, transcendental equation means what? Some exponential function will be present in the equation, or some trigonometric function will be present in the equation, or some hyperbolic function will be present in the equation. So this kind of equation, ax e power ax minus 1 equals to 0. This is one transcendental equation. This is not algebraic or polynomial equation because e power x is present. Another equation you can consider tan hyperbolic or tan x equals to 0. So these are not polynomial equation, these are called transcendental equation. Transcendental equations. Anyway, we'll be going through details about all these things. So you see, do you know any method to solve these kind of equations? X e power x minus 1 equals to 0, tan x equals to 0, or any these kind of equation? Do you know any method?
Sir, only
No.
hit and try.
Hit and try.
Sir, by using
By using
graphs, sir, graphs.
ग्राफ्स तो हो गया, दैट इज नॉट एन एनालिटिकल मेथड. मैंने बोला ग्राफ्स तो ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको एक फाइनाइट नंबर ऑफ अलजेब्राइक मैनिपुलेशन के बाद आपको रूट मिलेगा. ग्राफ का तो जो कर रहे हो तो अप्रोक्सीमेशन हो गया ना. आप ग्राफ ड्रॉ करेंगे और देखेंगे कि कौन से वैल्यू के एक्स के कौन से वैल्यू के लिए ग्राफ का हाइट 0 बन रहा है. दैट इज नॉट ए एनालिटिकल मेथड, दैट इज न्यूमेरिकल मेथड. But here the equation is very simple, so you may plot the graph. But for complicated equation, you will not be able to easily plot the graph. So you must have to know some method how to find out the roots. So we'll learn some technique to find out roots of an equation. Some methods will be bisection method, Regula-Folsi method, secant method, Newton-Raphson methods. Also we'll learn how to solve a system of non-linear equation. Linear equation को तो आप solve कर सकते हैं. सिस्टम ऑफ नॉन लीनियर इक्वेशन को कैसे सॉल्व करेंगे? फॉर एग्जांपल एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस वाई स्क्वायर इक्वल्स टू 1. सिंपल इक्वेशन के लिए आप इजीली कर सकते हैं. लेट्स से एक्स क्यूब प्लस वाई क्यूब. आई डू नॉट नो वेदर दे विल बी इंटरसेक्टिंग एट ऑल और नॉट. I have taken two arbitrary equations. So how to solve these two system of non-linear equations? Linear को तो आपको आते हैं. So that also will be learning, and also we'll see some application. Why should we bother about solving system of equation, or why should we bother about finding roots of an equation? So we'll see some need to do that. Next concept will be interpolation. So are you familiar with the term interpolation?
No, sir.
Okay, so suppose, let me tell you a certain scenario. So in a village, in a small village, in the year, let's say 2000, this is year and this is population P. So suppose, let's say 1250 people were there. Okay, in the year 2005, let's say 1447 people were there. In the year 2010, let's say 1590 people were there. In the year 2015, let's say 1670, and one more year I will be taking. So 2020, let's say 1800 people were there. So some set of data points will be given. So if first the GRs you consider X values, and the population you consider them as Y values, and using those you can create a set of data points X naught, Y naught, X1, Y1, up to how many points are there here? 5 data points are there. So it will be X4, Y4. I've started the data with X0, Y0. So it will be ending with X4, Y4. So these 5 set of data points are there. Now if I ask you a question, okay, can you tell me what will be your reasonable guess? What will be the population in the year 2000? What will be your guess? What is the population in the year 2012? What is the population?
1600.
30,
1600,
1620, 1630, around that.
1630. You are saying. What? How did you come up with this figure? 1630.
सर क्या किसी भी दो के मतलब
Average.
दो टाइम पीरियड के बीच में डिफरेंस देखेंगे और उसको मतलब उससे अरेंज करके निकालो.
So this is a guess. In your calculation, you have not considered the previous data points. You have not studied the behavior of the previous data points. What was the population in the year 2000? What was the population in the year 2005? And what was the population in the year 2020? And this is a very small data set. If the data sets are more, it will be very difficult to visually understand the nature of the data points. Is not it?
Yes, sir.
You have make a guess. It may be correct one. It may be reasonable one. But you have not created any concrete rule. If I ask you, okay, tell me what is the population in the year 2017, then you will be making another guess. So guess will not work. You have to create a rule. You have to create a rule which will be consistent for each data point. So what we are going to do? So these are called interpolation. This is the starting value 2000 and end value is 2020. And if I ask you to find out the value at any in between year, that will be interpolation. Interpolation means you have to guess the value at the in between data. Not guess, you have to find out suitable value at the in between data. So what will be our aim in interpolation? What we'll do, we'll plot the data in 2 dimensions. So the data points are, actually my pen is not changing, the computer is hanged. I cannot change my pen. What is happening here? Can I change? No, this one. Okay. So suppose these are the data points. X0, Y0. Okay. X1, Y1. And so on. X2, Y2, X3, Y3, X4, Y4. So what will be your aim? Your aim will be to create a function, rather I will say polynomial. So your aim will be to create a function, rather a polynomial, which will be passing through all these data points, which will be passing through all the data points. Your aim will be to find a polynomial which will be passing through all the data points. That will be your aim. Once you know the rule by that polynomial, for any given input, you can find out the corresponding output. Yes or no?
Yes,
Once
sir.
you find out a polynomial passing through each of the data points, then you will be able to find out the output for any given input. So that will be the rule. Now the question is that polynomial unique? Because if that polynomial is not unique, different people may find out different kind of polynomial passing through the data points, and they will be coming up with different answer. Is not it?
Yes. Sir.
If
Yes,
the
sir.
polynomial is not unique, if this is another polynomial which will be passing through the data points. So if the polynomial is not unique, then different student will come up with different answer. So what to do then? So the restriction is if the number of data points are n, okay, if the number of data points are n, you will be trying to find out the polynomial of degree n minus 1 or less. If that is the scenario, if the degree of the desired polynomial is one less than the number of data points, then it is always going to be unique polynomial. So for each student, the answer will be same. And why we are restricting such scenarios? Why we are not talking about polynomial of higher degree? Why not more than n degree? Because if the degree of the polynomial is more, then you will see a rapid fluctuation. You can see if you consider a higher order polynomial in a certain finite interval. So suppose you are finding a polynomial in the interval 1 to 5, and you, let's say, inside these points, let's say 5 data points are there, and you try to approximate these data points by 100-degree polynomial. Then what you will see? You will see at the beginning and at the end, the behavior of the polynomial will be very fluctuating. At the beginning, at the end, it will be rising very rapidly, or it will be going downwards very rapidly. So at the beginning and at the end, you will not get any reasonable answer. You may be ending up with the population in the year 2001 by, let's say, 18,000. ऐसा भी सिचुएशन आ सकते हैं अगर आप इसको 100-degree polynomial से अप्रोक्सीमेट करेंगे तो. So that is why we need to restrict our view to smallest degree polynomial, which will be passing through all the data points. And if the scenario is if you are approximating n data points by at most n minus 1 degree polynomial, then that polynomial will be unique. That will be our aim, to find out the polynomial, and then for any given input you will be able to find out the corresponding output. And this is one such scenario, this population scenario. Basically, we will be talking about general data point. Data point may be coming from this population data. It may be from something else, from other experiment. So that will be interpolation. Next will be curve fitting. So curve fitting और interpolation में थोड़ा अंतर है. Next will be curve fitting. So curve fitting में क्या होंगे कि जो डेटा हम लोग इंटरपोलेशन में एज्यूम करेंगे कि द डेटा पॉइंट्स आर एरर फ्री. ना ही x वैल्यूज में कोई एरर है, ना ही y वैल्यूज में कोई एरर है. All the data points are exact. That will be our assumption in interpolation. In curve fitting, in real life scenario, the data points may not be error free. Yes or no? In real life scenario, whenever you are collecting the data points from certain experiment, you can expect certain amount of error. So that scenario we will be considering. We will assume that in x values, no amount of error is there. So these are the input values. X values are the input values, which is written typically by x symbol, input values, and we'll assume that in y values, in output values, errors are there. So what to do then? What will be the relationship? How the data are created for a given input value? What will be the corresponding output value? You will try to find out the relationship between input value and output value. How can you do that? So what you will be doing? You will be plotting the data in 2 dimensions, just like interpolation. You will be plotting the data, and then by looking at the data, you will decide what kind of relationship you want to get. So if these are the data points, let me make it bit more something like this. Okay, so if these 5 dots are the data points, what can you say what is kind of relationship is there between these data points? This side let's say x and this side let's say y. These are the 5 data points. What kind of relationship you are looking here? Roughly, are they linear?
Sir,
As x value is, as the x value is increasing, y value is also increasing. Are they linear? Can you say roughly?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if the relationship is linear, which linear line or which line will be representing this data in most suitable way? Will this be this line? Will it be this line? Or will it be this line? Or will it be this line? Or will it be something else? So looking at the data, you can feel that there is a linear relationship. But since the data are not error free, it has some amount of error in each data. So you cannot find a polynomial which will be passing through each data. Rather, you will try to feel what kind of relationship is there, and then you try to find out, pinpoint the exact relationship. So by looking at the data, you can assume, you can feel that there is a linear relationship. But which linear relationship? Which line will be representing the data in most suitable way? So
Sir, I
what
guess
you have to
the orange one.
no, it is your
Yes.
guess. Anyway, in the current scenario, you can say the orange one. It feels bit more suitable, but it is not any mathematical method. It is guess. So what we'll do? We'll try to take arbitrary straight line, and then we'll try to find out error for each of the points. So these are the amount of error for each of the points, and then what we'll do? We'll add each of the errors, and we'll do some calculation to minimize the error. Okay, so we'll take a arbitrary straight line which will be of the form y equals to x plus b, and then using the data point we'll calculate the amount of error for each data point. Is it clear to you? Then we'll accumulate the error by some rule, by adding or by taking modulus or something else, which I'm not explaining in details right now. And then we'll do some algebraic manipulation and we'll come up with a particular straight line. Okay, so that will be curve fitting. It is not like that we always will have linear relationship. Let me go back. Let me remove these lines and try to see. Is it linear? Somebody may say that there is a quadratic relationship is there between the data points. And this is the quadratic line. Is it not it? Somebody may say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Or somebody else may say, no, sir, I feel there is a cubic relationship. Something like that. Let me make it more clear. Okay. Somebody may say, no, sir, there is a cubic relationship. This is cubic, 2 ups and downs will be there. One down and another up. Yes or no? Somebody may say. So it will be up to you.
Yes.
Looking at the data, visual representation of the data, you will try to feel what kind of relationship there, and then you will try to pinpoint that particular kind of curve, that particular kind of curve. So अगर कोई चाहते हैं इसको क्वाड्रेटिक पॉलिनोमियल से रिप्रेजेंट करने से अच्छा होगा, so he or she will consider arbitrary quadratic polynomial, and then she or he will do some manipulation and pinpoint that particular quadratic polynomial which will be representing the data in most suitable way. Is it okay? Did you get my point? So you will decide what kind of relationship you want to fit the data. Or somebody else may say, sir, I think there is a exponential relationship between the data. May say. So which exponential curve will be representing the data in most suitable way? Will it be passing through all the points? Will it be passing through one data point? Will it be passing through none of the data points? So it will be depending on the calculation. So that will be curve fitting. Suppose, and that practical situation may or arise very frequently. Suppose you are trying to find out the relationship between resistance and temperature for a given metal wire. Okay, and you are trying to find out exact relationship. So at different temperature, T1, T2, T3, T4, you have identified the resistance of the metal rod. So this is let's say this height is the this point is the this height of the point is the resistance at temperature T1. This is the resistance, the height of this point at T2 is the resistance at the temperature T2. Height of this point is the resistance at the temperature T3, and let's say this is the height of this point, last point is the resistance at the temperature T4. So what will be the exact relationship? Since you are measuring this by using thermometer or something, some restometer, I do not know exact physical quantity how to measure it. I do not remember. So suppose you are doing that. So since it will be measured by machine, some amount of error may be there. So what will be the exact relationship? What is the exact relationship of resistance versus temperature in that particular metal wire? So you will decide by looking at the data. It looks like linear. So which linear line, which linear curve? This one, or this one? Or if you feel okay, I think there is a parabolic curve. So which parabolic curve? You will decide. Did you get my point? What I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you will
Yes,
learn
sir.
the method how to feed the data by suitable curve. So that will be curve fitting. Similarly, you will learn certain numerical integrations are very easy to solve. I'll finish the class. I will not be going in details. Okay, numerical integration. I'll be mentioning few more lines and then I'll end the class. Numerical integration. Here I am writing an integration. Do you know the value 1 to 2 dx by 1 plus x? Is it easy or difficult integration?
Sir, easy.
Easy.
Very easy. What about this one? Let me manipulate a little bit. Integration 1 to 2 dx by x plus sine x. Is it easy or difficult now?
Difficult.
Is it very difficult? It is not at all easy. So, but you know what is the geometrical meaning of definite integral? Area under the
Area under curve.
curve. If you
Yes.
consider this integration a to b f of x dx, then this value is represented by this area. So if this is the line x equals to a, this is the line x equals to b, and this is the curve y equals to f of x, y equals to f of x, then this area that is represented by the integration a to b f of x dx, is not it? This area.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So your aim will be for difficult integration, which for which it is difficult to find out the exact value. Your aim will be to somehow approximate this area under the curve. So you learn some method, some techniques to approximate the area under the curve. Okay. Some of the time the exact function will not be given. Instead, some data points will be given. And from the data point you will be asked, okay, evaluate what will be the approximate value of the integration if f of x represent this data in most suitable way. What will be the value of the integration a to b f of x dx? F of x is not known explicitly, but rather some set of data points are given, and you will be asked, okay, what will be the value of this integration if f of x represent the data in most suitable way? So what you will do? From the data point, you will find out the polynomial, and then using that polynomial, we will be finding this integration. Is not it? Okay. Similarly, differentiation also you will be learning some technique to evaluate the differentiation. Also, you will be learning some method to solve numerical system of equation by numerical methods. You are electronics students, na? So you may be ending up with some circuits. I'll try to give you particular example from your field. So you will be applying maybe Kirchhoff's voltage law or current law, and you will be ending up with some system of some system of linear equations, and then you have to solve those system of equations. So if circuit is complicated, then the number of unknowns will be more, and it will be very difficult to solve manually. So you need some sort of numerical methods to solve that circuit. And at the end of the unit, that will be statistical quality control. You will learn some technique to consistency control the quality of a product. So these are the main outlines of this course. Okay, now what are the books I am going to follow? One will be, let me show you the books. University World Semester Information, Academic Calendar, AC. Okay, this is your brochure. Third semester, na? Third semester, these are the subjects you are going to study. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
These are the courses you are going to study. So let me go back to that. Anyway, so who is teaching mathematics 3 to you?
Supriya Yadav, ma'am.
Supriya Yadav, ma'am. Okay, fine. Mathematics 3, data structure. Yes, here. So these books, these are the outlines of the syllabus, outlines of the course. So I'll be following this book, SS Shastri, Introductory Methods of Numerical Analysis, and Jain, Iyengar and Jain, that book. Second one and the fourth one. I have already uploaded some books in this MS team. Let me show you where. So you go to the team. So this is the team, Numerical Methods for Electronics and Communication Engineering. Okay. You go to the General tab. Do you see on the left hand side?
Yes, sir.
Once you click on that General tab, you come to the top. Do you see file here? Files. General, post, files. Look at the cursor.
Yes.
Click on that. You'll see class material folder. Do you see it?
Yes,
Click
Yes,
on
sir.
that. You will see those PDF version of the books are already uploaded, and the related info documents related to this course also will be uploaded in this folder. This folder is basically, I only can update it. I only can edit it. You cannot edit anything in this folder. If I create any other folder, you also will to upload some materials. This is only edited by me. So class related materials will be uploaded in this folder, and whenever I am mentioning, okay, the document is uploaded in class material folder, I am basically referring to this folder. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I'll be ending the lecture. Do you want to ask anything? Anything? Because this is the first class. If you say something, I'll be trying to follow that.
Sir,
हाँ बोलो.
if someone joined late, then